Hello, Karen Barlow from the Canberra Times. My question is directed at the Treasurer. A lot has been made by the Prime Minister and yourself regarding Anthony Albanese's lack of economic experience, in particular the economic portfolio and not having done a budget. In fact, you've said it earlier in your speech. Do you accept that many Australian Prime Ministers have been in the same boat, including Robert Menzies, Tony Abbott, Bob Hawke, looking elsewhere? You've got Angela Merkel, and you could look to the President of Ukraine being a comedian before he entered politics. Do you accept that they are effective leaders or have been effective leaders, and aren't you reflecting back on them?
Certainly not. What our major concern is with Anthony Albanese is what we have seen today, which is, after 3 years in opposition, a lack of a detailed economic plan. I mean, Jim put out a 13-page pamphlet, and that's what he calls his economic plan. Now, 3/4 of it was sledging the coalition, and then the last few pages was talking about some multinational taxes that they wanted to introduce, which was a rehash of what Bill Shorten had talked about. And the other part of it was to have a review after the election, and we know he wants to have a budget after the election if he's successful, but he won't tell us beforehand what's to go into that budget. And the other was some more public servants. So I look at what Anthony Albanese has done with respect to his economic opportunity over the last 3 years to put an alternative plan, and he hasn't done so. And so that is what is most damning of him. And he was found out early on in the campaign when he didn't know what the cash rate was and he didn't know what the unemployment rate was. And as the Prime Minister said, it wasn't whether a percent was missing here or, 0.5% here or 0.5% there. He was just way off. And I had said during the budget speech, of course, which he was sitting across the table, the unemployment rate today is its equal lowest in 48 years at 4%. And he didn't know what it was. Now, Jim would have known it because Jim has worked in this portfolio. But at the same time, he is the leader of the Labor Party, and the choice is very clear who is going to lead a Labor government if they were successful. It'd be Anthony Albanese, not Jim Chalmers.
Look, one of the reasons why the government is maintaining almost exclusively a focus on Anthony and the Labor Party is that they're hoping they can get all the way to the 21st of May without having taken any responsibility for this cost of living crisis, which is punishing people right around Australia. And they have their little slogans about Anthony and about the Labor Party because they can't defend their record. As I said before, spent more, taxed more, borrowed more and delivered less. And because they are entirely bereft of a plan for the future. Now, the two things you need if you want to pitch up for a fourth term is the ability to defend your record and a plan for the future, and they have neither of those things. And that's why we get this pathetic point scoring about Anthony. Anthony is one of the most experienced candidates for Prime Minister that we've had in Australia. He was in a key economic portfolio of infrastructure and he performed extremely well in it. And so I think you can take all of this other rubbish from the government in that light.